in this video, we're gonna make a floating necklace. Now this has 3 strands in one necklace, 3 wires in one necklace, and the beads are not all like touching, and it kind of looks like the beads are floating, so we just call it the floating necklace. And so for this particular necklace, this is what you're gonna need. You're gonna need your tools, your round nose pliers, your long nose pliers, your cutter tools. You're going to need, if you wanna make this exact necklace from your Deluxe Jewelry Making Kit, then these are the supplies you're gonna need. If you just want to look and see and watch the video but make your own, then go ahead. But if you want to make this exact necklace, this is the materials you're going to need. You're going to need your gold pendant that has little markings on it on both sides. So cute. I love these pendants in this jewelry making kit. They are just so cute. They are so amazing. I love it. You're also going to need 10 gold cubes that come with your jewelry kit. 10 blue-green rondelles that sparkle, so cute. 10 black rondelles, again, more sparkly. If you like sparkly, this is a necklace for you. You're gonna need your gold wire. You're gonna need also 4 crimping beads. You're gonna need 3 split rings. You're gonna need 1 split ring for your pendant, and then 2 split rings for your clasp. So make sure you have 3 split rings. And a lobster clasp. Now for this particular necklace, I am making it 16 inches long. And so because I want a 16-inch necklace, I'm actually cutting the wire to 18 inches because when you put your clasp on, you're gonna need an extra inch on both sides for your clasp. And so if you're making a 16-inch necklace, cut the wire to 18 inches. If you are gonna make a 17-inch necklace, cut it to 19 inches. If you're gonna make an 18-inch necklace, cut it to 20 inches, so on and so forth. So always add 2 inches for your wire, for your elastic bands, for your clasps, for making it, making it neat at the end. And so for the sake of time, I actually already cut my wires. And usually I tell you, usually in the videos we do for our Deluxe Jewelry Making Kit, I usually tell you to not cut your wires, but you need 3 strands at one time. And so you're gonna need to cut 3 strands, 1, 2, 3. They're gonna need to be 18 inches long, so go ahead and do that. With this spool, this gold spool, cut 18 inches. And so get a measuring tape, do what you need to, but cut 18 inches off this spool. And so I was able to get 3, I have cut 3 already with my cutter tool. And the first thing I want to do after I cut my wire is I want to get my split ring. I want to get my clasp all ready because we're going to hook the clasp in first before we string any beads. And so get your long nose pliers, get your round nose pliers. Now in another video we have taught you how to use your split ring, and I'm just going to do a really quick one. So I'm going to take my long nose pliers, my round nose pliers, and I'm going to get to where the split is, and I'm going to pull them in opposite directions. And then I'm gonna put my lobster clasp on. I'm gonna put my lobster clasp on, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the split ring 2 ends back together perfectly. Make sure there is no gap. If you have a gap, your necklace is gonna fall apart. Your lobster clasp is gonna fall off, or the wire is gonna fall off. So there needs to be no gap. It needs to look like they're not even a cut in this loop. And so we have our lobster clasp. The next thing you also need to do is you take your other split ring. All split rings do not come like perfectly together. And so just look at your second split ring and make sure that it is perfectly together, that there is no gap, and do that. So we've done our lobster clasp and we've put a split ring on it, and we've done the other split ring, making sure that there is no gap. Again, I'm so picky. I like making sure that I have no gap. Gaps are horrible. Okay, so did that. So now I want you to take your wires and make them perfectly, absolutely perfectly even with each other. So do you see how they are the same? They are at the same point. We are gonna take our crimping bead and we're gonna put 1 crimping bead on. So put them on all 3. Put that crimping bead on all 3. Ah, yeah, put it on all 3. Do you see that? Put them on all 3. Take another crimping bead. This is different than usual, but because it's a floating necklace, we want to make sure that the wire doesn't poke the person's neck that's wearing it, whether it's your neck or someone you made it for. And so put another crimping bead on all 3 wires. Okay, so we have 1, 2 crimping beads. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put on my lobster clasp. So I'm gonna put the 3 wires through my split ring. So do you see that? I'm going really slow because you may have never done this necklace before. So I got my crimping bead, my second crimping bead, and I put my 3 wires through the split ring that has my lobster clasp on it. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these 3 wires and we're gonna wrap it around the lobster clasp, right? The split ring on the lobster clasp. So I'm gonna take them, wrap them around, and I'm gonna put all 3 wires through both of my crimping beads. And so if you don't know how to do crimping beads, we've already made a video on crimping beads. I would highly recommend going back and watching that because this could seem like I'm going really quick. We've taught videos on the basics, and so we've taught videos about how to use a crimping bead. But we're using 2 crimping beads because, again, we don't want to scratch anybody's neck, because if you leave this wire just by itself without it being hidden, then it will hurt the person wearing it. And so, okay, so do you see that? I wrap the loop around the lobster clasp split ring, and then I put it back through the crimping bead. Yes. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my long nose pliers and I am gonna crimp the crimping bead closest to the lobster clasp. I'm gonna take it, crimp it closest to the lobster clasp. Yeah, squeeze it, crimp it. Ah, yeah. Okay, so the next thing I wanna do is I have all this extra wire. I don't want that. I wanna cut pretty close. So now I'm gonna cut my wire, and I am going to cut it as close to my crimping bead as possible. And this second crimping bead on here, actually, it covers the end of the wire so it doesn't poke you in the neck. And so now I'm going to crimp that crimping bead. And if you want, there's a little extra on there, which I don't think would poke somebody, but just in case, I'm going to cut as much of the excess as possible. Yeah, do you see that? So you have your lobster clasp, and then you have your 2 crimping beads. One crimping bead is to hold the lobster clasp in place. The other crimping bead is to hold the wire so it's not poking anybody. Okay, so we have that. Oh, look at our necklace is already coming into play. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I have 10 gold, 10 blue-green, and 10 black. Now, I would separate those into groups of 5. So I'm gonna have 5 black here, 5 black here, 5 black, blue-green here, 5 blue-green here, 5 gold here, and 5 gold here. Do you see how I separate them? Because these 15 are gonna be on one side of the pendant, and these 15 are gonna be the other side of the pendant. So let's get started with making this floating necklace. So what you wanna do is, you want to take whichever bead you want. I'll start with a blue-green, and I'm gonna put all 3 through, all 3 wires will go through this bead. Yeah, do you see that? So all 3 wires went through this bead. For the next bead that's coming, I will do gold. For the next bead that's coming, I'm just gonna do 2 wires. Because we're kind of braiding, kind of not. It's kind of a funny jewelry braid, haha, I made that up, but just pretend you're kind of braiding. So this bead had 3 wires in it, this bead has 2 wires in it. So these are the 2 wires that the gold bead had in it. Just take one of those wires and take the other wire that wasn't in the gold bead, grab it, and you're gonna put your black bead, and you're gonna put 2 wires through your black bead. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Do you see that? So 3 wires are in this bead, 2 wires in this bead, and then 2 wires are in this bead. And then I'm gonna start my pattern all over again. I'm gonna put 3 wires in my blue-green bead. And you're like, do I really need to do this pattern? Yes, because it kind of makes them stay better. It kind of makes them not float around too much, because they like to float, they like to shift and move. So by doing this pattern, you're not gonna have them shift as much. They will still shift, but not as much. So I'm gonna put 2 wires through my gold, And then I'm gonna pick one of those wires that went through my gold and then a different wire that didn't go through my gold. And I'm gonna put 2 wires through my black. Yes. Oh, isn't that cute? It's coming together. Oh, this is gonna be a pretty necklace. And then the next one I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do blue-green, and I'm gonna put 3 through my blue-green. What a great pattern. I love this pattern. 3 through my blue-green. Only 2 of those wires through my gold. 2 wires through my gold. Yep. And then pick one of those wires that went through my gold and a different wire that went through the gold. And then put my black. So you don't want the black and gold, you don't want the exact same 2 wires going through it. You want one being the same and one being different. Do you see that? Oh my goodness. This necklace always makes me so happy, this style. It just fills me with joy. Fills me with joy. I got the joy. Okay, so then the next one I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 3 for my blue-green. 3 wires need to go in my blue-green, all 3 wires need to go in my blue-green. 2 wires need to go through my gold. And then I need to do two different wire, one the same wire and one different wire through my black. And then 3 through my blue-green, 2 through my gold, and 2 through my black. One wire being the same as the gold and one wire being different that the gold didn't go through. Okay, so do you see this? Oh, this is so cute. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put our pendant on. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our other split ring, since we have 3, right? We're gonna take our other split ring, we're gonna open it up, and then we're gonna put our pendant in there, okay? And then we need, again, using your long nose pliers and round nose pliers, you need to close up the gap. So you need to pull them together and make sure the 2 ends are touching each other like nose to nose. You like that, nose to nose, to make sure there's no gap. Absolutely, you don't want a gap or else the pendant will fall off. So the next thing I am gonna do is I'm gonna put my pendant through, and I am going to put it through all 3. Make sure you put it through all 3 wires. Put it through all 3 wires. Yes, do you see this? Oh my goodness, this is gonna be the cutest necklace ever. And then we're going to do the pattern backwards. We're gonna do black, gold, and blue-green. So take 2 wires and put your black through. And then take one of those wires that was the same and one wire that the black didn't go through and put your gold through. So we're going backwards. We're doing the pattern backwards now. And then you're gonna take all 3 wires and you are going to put your blue-green bead through. Oh, this is gonna be so cute. I'm so excited. I love this. I love it. Okay, so 2 wires. The next one, 2 wires for your black bead. 1 wire that was the same with the black bead, 1 wire that was different. Put your gold through. Go down and then put all 3 through your next bead, which is the blue-green bead. And you're going to continue with that pattern the whole way back up until you don't have any more beads. So 2 on black, 2 on gold, 1 using one that the black one and 1 that the black one didn't use, and then 3 for your blue-green. 2 black, 2 for the black, 2 wires to put through the black. Two wires to put through the gold. And All 3 wires go through the blue-green. We are almost done making this, and we gotta shift it around. And then 2 for the black. So this is these are the last beads. So I'm gonna put 2 wires through the black. I'm gonna use one of those wires I used for the black and 1 wire I didn't, and put 2 through the gold. And then all 3 through the blue-green. So this is kind of what your necklace is gonna look like, but we gotta put the clasp on. We gotta put our split ring and connect it to these 3 wires. So let's do that before we fix our necklace, okay? So take your 3 wires and put both of your crimping bead on here. Put all 3 wires through your crimping bead. And then take your next crimping bead and put all the wires through. Okay, so this is what we have. We have a crimping bead, we have another crimping bead, and now we're gonna put our split ring through that we made sure there's no gap, right? You fixed it to make sure there's no gap, right? And we're gonna make sure the split ring doesn't go over the crimping beads. So 2 crimping beads and a split ring, and we're gonna bring the wire around the split ring. Bring it around the split ring. See that? And then we're gonna put all 3 wires through both crimping beads. Okay, so do you see that? I love it, I love it, love it, love it. So this, don't put the crimping bead so tight that there's not a lot of wiggle room, okay? So then the next thing we're gonna do is, we are going to crimp the bead closest to the split ring. So did that, yes, and that's holding in your split ring. And then we are gonna cut all these extra pieces as close to the second crimping bead as possible. So cut it all close, and it should still be in there, and then you're gonna crimp it. And you got yourself another necklace. I'm so excited. Okay, so we want to, because these are floating, we can move them around. So we're just gonna pull them kind of down, space them out, space them however you want. Make sure your pendant is in the middle. Okay, so we need to space them out. We're gonna space them out. And there you have it. You have your floating necklace. Is that not the cutest floating necklace ever? I love the pattern on it. I love the beads. I love it's gonna sparkle when it hits the light. I just think this is amazing. So that is your floating necklace. So be sure you watch our other videos to learn more about making your own jewelry. Thank you so much for tuning into our videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.